Hi there, my name is Aruj and I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy or palsy, I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, on Sunday. So today for me is day 5. You may notice that I'm speaking quite funny. It's because I can only speak from my left side. The right side is not cooperating since Sunday. I'm actually going to give you a bit of background of how it started, because I know quite a lot of people's just came out of nowhere, and mine has come out of nowhere, but finding the root of it is quite helpful. So I'm hoping to track everything that happens from now on, and hopefully if it can help anyone, that would be great. I have found everyone's videos really helpful. You'll have to excuse me, V and F are very difficult right now, and as someone who speaks for a living, that's taken me aback quite a bit, but you know, we're strong, we can deal with this. So Friday, I left work and I had a bit of an earache. I didn't think much of it, to be honest. I went to my parents' house for the weekend, was having a great time, and on Saturday I had a swollen eye and a swollen lip. To be honest, I thought this was hay fever, or allergies as some call it. So I went and got an antihistamine and thought nothing more of it. Met some friends, had a great time. Sunday, I woke up and I could not move the right side of my face. Alarm bells started ringing. My first thought was stroke, actually, because I had never heard of Bell's palsy before. So I thought, okay, I'm having a stroke. Panic. My brother took me to A&E, so that's accident and emergency. I think it's called ER in America. So he took me there, and it was quite a short wait because they panicked also, no function in the right side of my face. So then I met with the doctor. They needed to rule out the stroke, so they did quite a few tests on my arms and my legs to see if I could move everything, and thankfully I could. So to be honest, I started counting my blessings from that moment, because for me, I thought stroke would be the worst possible scenario right now. Anything less than that is better. So the fact that it wasn't stroke was a bit of a relief. For those of you who are looking out to see whether it is a stroke or Bell's palsy, they checked whether I could push and apply pressure with my arms and my hands. They checked the same with my legs and my feet. This was done outwards, upwards, and sideways. So I was able to do all of those, thankfully, so then they moved on. So it was just the face, and that is how they knew that it was Bell's palsy. I told them of the earache, so it's really important at that stage to tell them as much information as you can. It wasn't something I thought was a big deal, but at this point I thought I'll mention everything. They checked my ears, and there was a bit of soreness, it was a bit red, and it looked like there was an infection. So that is where my Bell's palsy has stemmed from. It's from my ear. I never knew that that could happen. It's actually one of my first ear infections, hopefully the last, let's see. So to give you a bit of background, I did then Google it, okay, that's what you do. You have, and I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, the 7th cranial nerve comes from the back of your ear up here and controls your face. So I've learnt quite a bit about this through this happening, and you have that on both sides, so both sides are detached and controlled by separate nerves. So my ear infection has affected that nerve, causing it to be inflamed. That inflammation has meant that signals from my brain telling, you know, my eyebrows what to do, my nose, my lip and everything, those messages are not getting through to my nerve, hence what's happened. So I mean, it is really uncomfortable, I'm not going to lie, it was a shock. I think at first when they told me all of this, it was just really shocking, and I thought, okay, let me Google it, look into it, see what happens. So at that point they gave me antibiotics to treat the infection. The doctor said, you know, if you take these, hopefully if the infection goes down, the nerve will calm down and, you know, your feeling should return. He also made me an appointment with an ENT specialist, which is ear, nose, throat. So I went to see them yesterday. That was day 4. Nothing much had improved. One thing I will say is that my eye, I could only half close it at first, and now it's come down quite a bit further. I'll show you. So that's been a little bit of a win. It is uncomfortable at night because obviously I can't close it to go to sleep, and that makes it quite dry and sore. So yesterday when I went to see the specialist, they had a look further into my ears, and there was an infection. They wanted to check for fluid caused by infection, which is quite worrying, to be honest, because if there's fluid, they need to remove that, and that's a surgical operation. Thankfully, after lots of hearing tests and scans, it turns out that there's no fluid. So I was really, really thankful for that. This all becomes a process of counting your blessings. Each thing that's ruled out seems more awful, and you just appreciate what you have, and you know, there is no point thinking, why me? Because, you know, I've seen it happen to lots of people. You just need to have a positive attitude and just go forward and deal with it. Make the best of it. Which is what I'm trying to do. You know, I can't be unrealistic. It does affect you. It affected my confidence at first, and as somebody who talks non-stop all the time, if you ask anyone around me, I started talking less because I was conscious of the way I'm talking. This is not something I'm used to. The way I'm smiling, you know, I look like a Bond villain, as many people have said on the YouTube videos. It just makes you very self-conscious. But you know, the swelling goes down and it gets a bit easier. And you know, it's funny, it does cut off right in the middle. So on this side of my tongue is numb, and I can't really taste my food and don't know what's going on. A bit in the side of my cheek a few times, ouch. And on my left side I can. So I'm trying to eat on this side where I can experience food, but I'm moving it around because I don't want my teeth to forget what to do. You know, I love food, and I am expecting this to go away one day, hopefully soon. I mean, it's only day 5, and I am optimistic. So yesterday when I met the specialist, they gave me a few new medicines. They told me to carry on with the antibiotics, which I have been doing. They also gave me a steroid. It's called prednisolone, and that actually makes, well, I've been told that that makes the swelling go down, so of the nerve. So the nerve should then, you know, reduce, and maybe, you know, signals can get through and my face might have some feeling, which would be ideal. I took my first dose yesterday, and since then, if I'm completely honest, I have felt no change. Talking has got a little easier, but I think that's because I'm trying a bit harder, and I'm trying to enunciate and just kind of trying to get past my fear of what people would think. You know, you do feel a bit like unattractive and a bit, you know, self-conscious, but I mean, at the end of the day, you either want people to be able to communicate with you or not, and I'd rather be able to communicate with people at the end of the day, because I like communicating. So to go through my symptoms, oh sorry, where was I? The steroids. They also gave me an ointment to apply at night in my eye, which has been really good. I put it on last night and it was amazing. It was really comfortable. I don't actually wear the eye patch that's been recommended. I didn't buy one. I just tend to sleep on that side, and that kind of naturally closes the eye. And throughout the day I manually make myself blink as well, because I know it's not doing it itself, and that's what makes it dry. So if I do the manual blinking, I notice straight away that moisture comes into the eye, and you know, it's really nice. So, you know, I do advise that because it's helpful. You know, make sure your hands are clean though, because you don't want to make things worse. So symptoms, nothing's moving on this side, and I'm going to demonstrate that actually. So if I've been told to do these tests, so that's how I know about them, and I think it's useful to do them. I do them every day so I can track progress and see if anything's changed. So then, if anything has changed, I will notice it, and I can even track sort of minor improvements. There might be some that I'm making up, to be honest, because I thought I was able to move my ear the other day, and I don't know if I was able to do that before or not, and maybe you just drive yourself crazy in this process, I don't know. Also, I don't have an American accent. I don't know where that's coming from. It might just be because I'm having to talk from this side. So I'm just talking however I can. So I'm going to come a bit closer now, don't get scared. So I'm going to lift both eyebrows. See, now when I was, sorry, I have to do that because it gets uncomfortable. My eye doesn't, and it's streaming. So when they first asked me to lift my eyebrows, I actually thought they were both going up. And then the A&E doctor asked me, he said, do they usually both go up? It's the first point I realised this one's staying put and that one's shooting up. Positive side, I've never been able to raise an eyebrow on its own before, so that was a bit cool. So yeah, I'll do it one more time. Another thing that I've noticed is one nostril is flaring, one is not. So I'll do that as well, as attractive as that is. I don't know if you can see that, but this one is flaring and this one is not moving. Then comes my new sinister smile that I've acquired. Should come with an evil laugh really, shouldn't it? So here's my smile. Now, usually that would be on both sides and it would, you know, it'd be something I'm used to. You know, you do kind of get used to it. It's only day 5 and I was really self-conscious about it, but I find myself not so self-conscious now. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's only half the slice of cake. That one's just not doing what it's supposed to do. This side always did this. So I'm accepting that. So, because I think if I turn around and smile, that would be my natural smile. It's just that it was on this side as well. Just picture that it's there right now. Which is what I'm doing. It's probably keeping me sane. I do hope that I get feeling back. And I have a meeting with the ENT department tomorrow, the same specialist. She was amazing. So I'm really glad to have people who are really concerned and helpful. That's always really a nice thing to do. I must say right now that NHS is amazing and so helpful. And I'm really grateful that we have the NHS because, you know, they provide a lot of support and I'm really, really grateful for that. I had to say F there, which is hard, as you can tell. Right, so I showed you. Eyebrow, the nose, lip. That's it really. That would be what's working. That would be what's not. They said that the steroids should take effect in 24 hours. So I've come up to 24 hours now and I've taken 2 doses. So one is feeling quite optimistic. I'm hoping I go to bed tonight and I wake up and something will have changed. It might not, but you've got to have hope, don't you? And I've decided to be that way. So I think being positive is the way forward. If I get down about it, then you know what's going to happen. I was anxious of laughing because I think it looks strange. And now I'm just poking fun at it. That's my defense mechanism. I will turn something into a joke if I can't handle it or I'm trying to cope with it. It's my coping mechanism. So today I went back to work for the first time today since it happened. And I've actually been fine ever since it has happened. No breakdowns, no crying, you know, a bit of stressful thinking off into the distance. But that's about it. So I went into work and I was a bit apprehensive about what everyone would say. And I'd come up with all these things that I would do. I will cover my face, you know, if I'm smiling or someone makes me laugh so they don't notice it. But, you know, it kind of fell away after a little while. They loved me for who I am. Everyone was really, really kind and, you know, I thought I would be grossing everyone out, but nobody was grossed out, which was, you know, really quite amazing. And I explained what happened and they were all fascinated, but more than anything, they were all there for me. So I think you need to believe in the people around you because they might surprise you. They can be really, really amazing and you need to give them that chance. I was offered hugs all day, cups of tea. I don't even drink tea. So it was really quite good. One thing I did have to mention to them is I'm okay as long as you don't ask me how I am. That might sound really strange, but I've been fine this whole time. And then HR came up to me while I just sat down on my computer and started typing, getting back in the flow of things. I love going back to work. I'm a bit of a workaholic, but it makes me feel normal again and I needed normality. I can't just sit at home and hide. So you know, I'm back out there, told everyone the story, everyone knows now, nothing to hide. But then HR, both HR ladies walked up to my desk and said, oh no, what are you doing back? How are you? Just asking me how I am. That hit it. I just started crying, I broke down, they took me into a room, they talked to me, and you know, once it starts, it doesn't stop. I cried and cried, I didn't even know what I was crying about. It was my first breakdown since this has happened, and you know, I was quite embarrassed.